Alright, so I would like to start the review by actually going through the colors I use on my charts. Okay, you have to understand that each color represents a time frame. Okay, so that when I post the chart, you know, okay, which time frames I'm referring to on by the use of those colors. Actually, I use red for my monthly levels, and then I use green for my blue for my daily levels, black for my weekly levels, and then green for my 4 hour, and then 1 hour and below. 1 hour, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, I use lime. Okay, I go over it again. I use red for my monthly level, black for my weekly levels, and then blue for my daily levels, and then I use green for my 4 hour levels, and then I use lime for my 1 hour and below. Okay, so that is that. So I posted this charts. Let me see. Yes, I posted this charts earlier on. I think on Monday or so. It was Sunday or Monday. Yeah, I think Monday. And I would like to go through the processes or what I considered to actually outline that setup as it's pan out. And before that, I'm actually doing this video just because I've been receiving some kind of emails requesting for mentorship, and I can't actually do that just because I don't have time. Okay, I just don't have time for that. So by doing this, I know there are some people who might benefit from that. I know the good and better traders in the channel, but these ones, I think it would also help a brother out to get more understanding of what the market does. Okay, all right, so this chart I was expecting some bullishness within this week, or some bullishness within this week, and we'll go through why I was expecting those bullishness. Okay, so let's go to my dollar index. Okay, so basically trade the euro USD, and then the pound USD, and then Australian dollar, and then the Australian dollar USD, but mostly it's just the euro USD. The other two are occasionally, that's why you don't see me post most of other charts and aside the euro USD. And sometimes for some swing trades, my swing trades are actually dependent on a number of factors, so they can vary from pair to pair. Those are for my swing trade. I don't have a specific pair I use for my swing trade because of how I analyze the marketplace for my swing trade setups. So I don't have a specific pair for that. Okay, even though I can use the euro dollar pair for my swing trades, I use that for my just daily trades and stuff. That one shot, one kill. That's basically what I do with the euro USD. All right, so what I outlined for the charts for the analysis was based upon this gap over here. Okay, this gap that was left over here on a daily time frame. This is a daily time frame, so this gap was the catalyst for my setup. And then when you go to the 4-hour time frame, okay, the 4-hour time frame, also this fair value gap also helped me to get to that conclusion, or to bring up about that setup. All right, so as price was trading down. Okay, now this was what I was thinking about, that this was what probably price was about to just closing this volume imbalance. And then since we have this 4-hour fair value gap beneath it, probably price might also want to fill in that, or even trade into the midpoint of that fair value gap on the 4-hour, and then we should have a retracement or a reversal of price after performing those jobs. Okay, right, so basically this price swing was, I think it was NFP. Yeah, it was the NFP that was used to closing this volume imbalance on a daily level. Okay, so when I hover over any line, it tells me what it is. I don't need to be writing them on the charts like that, you know. So around this area is specifically where I was expecting the bullishness to occur. All right, but for flexibility, I was expecting price to probably go or deep down into this area. Okay, so for flexibility purposes, I had to just increase the range. Okay, so I had to increase the range for price to have more room to trade. Okay, so I was expecting price to at most trade to this area before we get our up move. Okay, so depending on which day price trades to these areas, okay, depending on which days and which time of the day price trade to this area, then I would consider either going short on Euro USD, okay, because this is the dollar index and it's inversely proportional to the Euro USD. Okay, right, so after NFP, I usually don't take a trade. I just wait for the market to make some correction and see where the possible trends might be. Okay, so if you watch the chart that I sent, the week had already started, and I think it was a Monday or so that I sent this. So after I had seen where price would have a reaction, then I felt much comfortable to get this setup established. Okay, to get this setup established. All right, so this is the daily fair value gap midpoint of it, and around that area, specifically at the big figure, which is the 90.00, okay, was where I was expecting that bullishness. So that 90.00 plus it's being around the midpoints of this fair value gap on the 4-hour makes me have more confidence in price or in dollar having a retracement around this area or a possible reversal around this area. Okay, so that was basically my catalyst, and my targets for the dollar index was around this area. That's the midpoints of this range, this low to this high. Okay, price had to come back and fill this area, so I was expecting that price would at least move or reach for the midpoint of it, and if there will be any need for retracements, price would retrace and then move up or continue its up movements. But we actually traded past the midpoint and even traded to fill in the whole void around this area. Okay, so we filled it and price had little kind of consolidation around this area, then we had a pullback. Okay, so a consolidation expansion, which I am considering as what, a pullback or a retracement from this price leg, this price swing from this low to that high. Okay, from this low to that high, I'm considering this as a pullback to continue upward, and then probably to reach. Okay, now this is not part of the trade, so let me just forget it. So that is what I was actually expecting price to do, and it actually did that for me. So let's go to the EURUSD. So actually it was this volume imbalance plus this fair value gap that I actually established my points or my bias on. Okay, so yes, this is the EURUSD. Okay, so as I said, if the dollar index is bullish, then you should have a bearish EURUSD pair. Okay, so from this side, as it was just after an NFP, I also had to wait for price to show me some signs of its direction. Okay, so I think I posted, let me see the price I posted. Oh yes, it was this side. Okay, after it had moved to where I was thinking price might go, it gave me more confidence to actually get in. All right, now you see this, let me go back, this daily rejection block, this. Okay, now that was where I was actually expecting price to have some kind of a pullback, or let's say resistance around that area. But just for flexibility's sake, I was giving price more room to, or more range to operate. So I had to increase the range. So if, let's say, I was to take a trade on Monday around this area, then my stop loss should be above this high. Okay, should be above this high. All right, so after I saw price coming down, which proved that okay, probably you might hit my objective. Okay, you might hit my objective. Then I felt more comfortable to wait for a pullback, because I know that after price has reached a certain level in price, there should be some kind of a pullback. Okay, and then it continues to its target. Now the target was, I was seeing this as a target to fill in this whole void, and then to even to go lower to clear up these lows. Okay, this and that, and probably that. Okay, because I was expecting a bullishness on the dollar. So depending on the time of day, which I'm not going to talk about right now, I took a short trade from this area. Anytime I take any trade, my stop loss is 25 constant. Okay, 25 constant. So a short at this daily rejection block, okay, then targeting this consequent encroachment, that's the midpoint of this line, and this, okay, their midpoints was where I was targeting. So from this side to that side was my targets. Okay, and that was all that I was expecting price to do for me for this week. Okay, so with that I was done, but something happened, and I got so much into my head, like, and I took a trade around this area, okay, and it resulted in a loss. For me, I think today, Friday. okay, it resulted in a loss for me. So it was actually an impulse swing, trade, of which resulted in the loss. Okay, because it wasn't part of my one shot one kill analysis that I did for the week. Okay, all right. So as I said, since we are going to, I'm expecting price to dollar index to move higher. Probably you might see some bearishness in the EURUSD, not really a signal, but that's what I'm expecting. Depending on the euro pound, what happens here, I would choose to work on the pound USD as well, maybe in the coming week, or still my analysis will be in the EURUSD, since it is the pair that I usually trade due to its low spread and other advantages that fits me well. Okay, all right, so that is all. I hope it makes sense and I hope you learn something out of it. Okay, so the main catalyst was filling in this volume imbalance, then price moving to this midpoint over here. Okay, this line coming here was for to allow room for price expansion. Okay, to allow room for price expansion. All right, so that is that. I would see if I can get more time in the coming week to post my analysis after trade, and you see how it goes. Okay, so I hope I get more time to do it. Okay, so I have so many things I have to do today before I sleep. Yeah, before I sleep. So let's see, I'll post it on YouTube and then you see how it goes. Bye.